Hungover hat reviews. Why does he do this to himself? Hungover hat reviews. Will Ferrell wears a hat in Elf. Hungover hat reviews. I forgot my sign. But here we are, on location, the Blue Mountains. The Hydro Majestic there in the background. Named after its founder, Sir Jonathan Hydro Majestic, and that's the Megalong Valley, named so because it's really long. So that's probably about all you'll see of that actually, because, well, it's my holiday, it's not your holiday. It's not for you to enjoy that view, it's for me. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, for everyone who tuned in to the last episode. I don't know how you measure success, but the likes absolutely skyrocketed. I'm just going to get away from these mouth breathers, won't be a moment. Skyrocketed on YouTube, through the roof. 50 likes in about 8 days, so pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, we might take this to another location now. I feel like there's people moving in on me. So. Okay, well, different location now. We're in my car in the in a vacant lot, in a next to a car park, next to a real car park, but in a vacant lot next to a service station, which is next to the Hydro Majestic. So this is the sort of stuff you don't see on a normal tour. So pretty lucky, pretty lucky. I say my car, it's my mum's car, which is really no reflection on how my life's turned out so far, so I wouldn't put too much stock in that. Anyway, hats. It took a full minute and a bit before I actually introduced the hat in that first episode. So I said something about what are those stupid fucking jazz hats called? Fedoras. Anyway, we're not going to do fedoras because, as I said, they're really dumb. Beanies or toques to our northern friends. Although I'm not sure why I keep giving credit to anyone in the north. As I said, only 50 people watched the first video in the first place, and I'm pretty sure they weren't Canadian, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I've got two to talk about. This one is a ski mask from the 70s, and I think I'll tell you a little bit of its backstory. I'll actually pop it on for the backstory. I think it'll be much more enjoyable. Hang on a second, get this awesome view up my nose. Already my favourite on the hat series. What is important is how I came by this hat. This beautiful, magnificent piece of headwear. When Elray and I moved into our neighbourhood, there was an old couple up the road. They were having a garage sale, yard sale, and it was a really old couple. And on a table, they yeah, it does look cool, doesn't it? On a table, they had this. They had a yellow pair of aviator sunglasses, yellow lens, for $10. This was $10. The aviator sunglasses were $10, and a really, really old Casio keyboard for $10. And the old bloke came up. I said, "Oh, these are really cool," and he was like, "Oh, I see you've found my pair of sunglasses there." I was like, "Yeah, I guess that is pretty funny, I suppose." And he said, "You know, I used to have those because I was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam." I was like, "Oh, right." And then he proceeded to tell his story. You know, he didn't really want to go in the first place, but he had two younger brothers who went, and his mum charged him with looking after them. He talked about how scared he was when he first landed on the ground there with the troops. He talked long about, you know, looking into the eyes of the enemy and how that changed him. He talked about how many tours he did and all the atrocities he'd seen, and having to go back to normal life, having to tell his mum that one of his brothers wasn't going to be coming home. And he told this really long story, and by this point everyone at the garage sale had stopped what they were doing, had all turned around, and everyone was just dead silent, just listening to him. And he was miles away. He was back there. He had a vacant look in his eyes, and I let out a breath, and I didn't even know I was holding it. I didn't even know I was holding that breath that whole time. And I put one arm on his arm, and I looked him in the eyes and made eye contact, and I was like, "I'll give you $10 for the lot, okay?" That was a very long story. You've wasted a lot of people's time. That was very selfish. $10. You'd take it or leave it. Anyway, that's the story about how I got this ski mask. It's a pretty good ski mask. And I love it. It's winter, so it's only appropriate now. Otherwise, it's pretty shit. In summer, you wouldn't want to wear it in summer. You wouldn't. And it's really only good for conquering Antarctic regions or Arctic regions, or or robbing places. Probably shouldn't be wearing it in the car park next to the service station, but all good. That's number one. I give it probably 3 out of 5 stars considering it's winter. Woo! The next one's your more classical type. Again, getting the view of up my nose. There we go. And that's heaps better. I think it's much more practical. You would argue if you wear it, you could wear it like this, yeah, fisherman style. Or you could wear it like that, which that style's probably made popular by Noddy, the children's character. Well, he's a male prostitute, basically. There's a song here, Noddy, the little man with the red and yellow car. That song, that one. It's as big as a Noddy and Mr. Plod and all his special friends, clients. It's 6pence an adventure, sex, and he'll take you home again. Door-to-door service. Sick little fuck. But you can wear it like that if you want. We've got heaps of hats. Heaps more hats to come.